A good friend of mine and a good friend of the ACA, Mark Loewe, has died. Mark was an ACA member around long before I ever got involved with the organization. He actually has co-hosted AXP on a number of occasions. He's a board member. He's a physicist who had the office down the hall from Weinberg and who helped write textbooks on quantum mechanics. He was constantly teaching physics principles at our after show dinners when he would show up. He texted me shortly after my heart surgery while I was recovering, saying that he'd, welcome a phone call or would love to come by and visit whenever I was at a point where I was accepting visitors. And I let him know that I was recovering and that we weren't having visitors just yet. And he said, no problem. Basically, get back to me when you can. And unfortunately, I think within a week of him sending that message, he was having trouble and called a friend and said, I need help. And they took him to the hospital where he had had a massive heart attack. And he spent the better part of the next couple of weeks on life support. When they removed him from the life support, I'm told he was just too weak to breathe on his own. And he died last week. I do not have details on a memorial service yet. There was an image that we were going to have posted right now of Mark dedicating this episode of the Atheist Experience to Mark Loewe, who, by the way, I'm told was running for the State Board of Education again. One aspect I'm not particularly proud of is that he got the endorsement of Governor Greg Abbott. But Mark was a lifelong libertarian / Republican, but with some good ideas in there as well. And he was one of the people who I was most likely to disagree with and have an outstanding conversation, because when you went to Mark and you said, hey, I have a question about this, his most frequent answer if you ask him a question of how does this work or what's the explanation for this, was I don't know. And then he would go off and do work. He had boxes and boxes and boxes of research in his house. I remember when his house flooded, Beth and I went over and grabbed boxes of his papers and spread them out over the garage with fans and a dehumidifier to try to save them. He was working on a new cosmology model that may have supplanted the Big Bang. And this isn't like somebody down the street who's an armchair physicist who thinks they're going to topple the Big Bang. This was a project with him and several other people. Mark was educated by Penrose, and ran with all of those big name physicists at one point or another. But I was very interested to see where that research would go. And unfortunately, my friend has died. And so when I get more information, we'll deal with that.